Welcome to episode 224 of OTD, your daily dose of soccer history by 17 Laws Guy. It's June 12, 1938, Bordeaux, Parc Lescure, Brazil against Czechoslovakia, a World Cup quarterfinal. And today, the World Cup gets its first great battle off, the Battle of Bordeaux. 1-1 after extra time, 3 players sent off, multiple broken bones, a goalkeeper playing on with a broken arm. A match so violent, so damaged, and so unresolved that they have to play it again 2 days later. This is not the beautiful game. This is Europe in 1938, South America in 1938, and football on the edge of something much darker. But how did we get here? The 1938 World Cup sits in one of football history's most dangerous atmospheres. Europe is less than 15 months from war. Italy are the reigning world champions and Olympic champions. Vittorio Pozzo's team won the 1934 World Cup at home, then won gold at the 36 Berlin Olympics. Fascist Italy understands football's propaganda value. Mussolini understands spectacle. Sport is no longer just sport. Central European football is still one of the game's intellectual centers. The Mitropa Cup has made club football across Austria, Hungary, Czechoslovakia and Italy feel like a European competition before UEFA exists. The Central European International Cup has done something similar for national teams. And the great coaching argument of the age is still there in the background. Hugo Meisel and the Austrian Wunder team had represented a Danubian ideal, technique, combination, movement and elegance. But Meisel died in 1937. Austria itself disappears into Nazi Germany in March 1938 after the Anschluss. The Wunder team's world is literally being absorbed by politics. Pozzo, by contrast, survives and adapts. His Italy takes Central European football's lessons and add discipline, athleticism, state backing, and tactical pragmatism. Czechoslovakia belongs deeply to this world. Born as a state after the First World War, Czechoslovakia builds one of Europe's richest football cultures. Prague is a football city. Sparta and Slavia are major continental clubs. Czech football is technical, organized, professional, and internationally serious. In 1934, Czechoslovakia reached the World Cup final. They lead Italy in Rome through Antonin Puig before Italy come back and win 2-1 after extra time. Oldrich Nejedlý is the tournament's top scorer. Plánička, the goalkeeper and captain, becomes one of the great symbols of pre-war football. Brave, elegant, small for a goalkeeper, and immense in reputation. By 1938, Czechoslovakia are not tourists. They are one of Europe's best teams. To get to France, they draw 1-1 with Bulgarian Sofia, then win 6-0 in Prague. In the first round of the World Cup, they beat the Netherlands 3-0 after extra time in Le Havre. Now Brazil. The South American story is different. Uruguay, champions in 1930, had refused to defend their title in 1934 because so many Europeans had refused the long trip to Montevideo. Argentina are furious that FIFA gives the 1938 tournament to France rather than returning it to South America, so they withdraw. And Uruguay are absent again. So South America's great representative in France is Brazil. But this is not yet the Brazil of Pelé, Garrincha in 1970. This is Brazil, becoming Brazil. In 1930 and 34, Brazil had gone out early. Internal football politics had hurt them, especially disputes between Rio and Sao Paulo, and between amateur and professional interests. But by 1938, the team is more coherent, more ambitious, and far more dangerous. They travel to Europe by ship. Their coach is Ademar Pimenta. Their great name is Leônidas da Silva, the Black Diamond, a genius forward, acrobatic, slippery, inventive, one of the first Brazilian footballers to become a global star. There's also Domingos da Guia, the elegant defender, Romeu, Peracho, Tim, Brandão, César Procopio. This is a team with flair and muscle. Brazil opened the tournament in Strasbourg against Poland and win one of the wildest World Cup matches ever played. 6-5 after extra time. Leônidas scores a hat-trick. Ernest Wilimowski scores 4 for Poland and still loses. Brazil have announced themselves. Now they come to Bordeaux. Parc Lescure is new or newly rebuilt, an Art Deco stadium chosen as one of the venues for the 1938 World Cup. For Bordeaux, this is a civic event. The Brazil-Czechoslovakia quarterfinal is effectively the inauguration of the modern stadium as a major football stage. The crowd is just over 22,000. The referee is Hungarian, Paul von Herzka. experienced, international, a FIFA referee since 1934. He had worked Olympic matches in Berlin in 1936, including the Italy-Norway semi-final, and had run World Cup qualifiers. This is not some random official, but today the match runs away from him. It starts badly. After only 14 minutes, Brazil's Zezé Procopio is sent off. Remember, there are no red cards yet. The referee doesn't pull a colored card from a pocket. He dismisses the player verbally. The symbol has not yet been invented. The authority is human voice and whistle. Brazil are down to 10, and yet Brazil score. In the 30th minute, Leônidas strikes. Brazil 1, Czechoslovakia 0. So far this is dramatic, but not yet infamous. In the 65th minute, Czechoslovakia equalize. Domingos de Guaya handles the ball. Penalty. Nejedlý scores. 1-1. Then more violence. Challengers arrive late. Retaliation follows retaliation. Players are fouled, kicked and hit. The pitch becomes a series of private wars. Czechoslovakia lose bodies. Josef Kostelek is injured in the stomach. Aldrich Nejedlý suffers a broken leg. Yes, a broken leg. And Plánička, the captain and goalkeeper, breaks his arm. But this is 1938. No substitutes, no concussion protocols, no fourth official, no medicalized match control. If you can stand, you carry on. But Nejedlý cannot finish. Plánička does. He plays on in goal with a broken arm through the second half and extra time. That image alone is almost unbearable. One of the world's great goalkeepers, arm broken, still standing between Brazil and the semi-final. Near the end of normal time, Brazil lose another player, and Czechoslovakia lose one too. Brazilian records and later summaries differ slightly on the exact minute and naming detail, but the core fact is clear. 3 players are expelled in total, 2 Brazilians and 1 Czechoslovak. 3 dismissals in a World Cup match. That had never happened before. And around them are the injured, Plánička, Nejedlý, Kostelek, Leônidas, Peracio, and others limping, leaving, or surviving. The match goes to extra time, still 1-1. No penalty shootout, because that doesn't exist yet. So the solution is simple and brutal. Replay. The Battle of Bordeaux ends unresolved. But so what? The replay itself tells you how much damage the first match caused. 2 days later, Brazil and Czechoslovakia meet again at Parc Lescure, June 14. Brazil make 9 changes. Czechoslovakia make 5. That's not rotation. That's triage. The Czechs lead through Vlastimil Kopecky in the first half. Then Leônidas, now stand-in captain, equalizes for Brazil. Soon after, Karel Stenický appears to score for Czechoslovakia, but the goal isn't given. The Czechs insist the ball crossed the line. Brazil counter. Roberto scores. Brazil win 2-1. They are through to the semi-final. But the price of Bordeaux follows them. In Marseille, Brazil face Italy without the full force of Leônidas. The exact mix of injury, selection and overconfidence has been argued over ever since. But the result is clear. Italy beat Brazil 2-1. Pozzo's side go on to defeat Hungary 4-2 in the final and retain the World Cup. Brazil still finished third. They beat Sweden 4-2 back in Bordeaux. Leônidas scores twice and ends the tournament as top scorer with 7 goals. The 1938 becomes Brazil's first great World Cup run, not yet victory, but arrival. And the Battle of Bordeaux becomes part of that arrival, the moment when Brazilian brilliance and Brazilian toughness both enter the European imagination. And the violence was rare enough to become a landmark. The 1938 World Cup had plenty of hard football, so did 34, but 3 expulsions plus multiple serious injuries in one match made Bordeaux different. It set a World Cup disciplinary record. That record would be equaled in 1954 by another Brazil match, Hungary against Brazil in the Battle of Berne. 3 sent off again, fighting continuing after the whistle. Brazil out, Hungary through. Then 1962 gives us the Battle of Santiago, Chile against Italy, kicks, punches, police entering the field, and Aston trying to control a match that becomes one of sport's most notorious spectacles. Aston later becomes central to the invention of yellow and red cards. Then 2006, Portugal against the Netherlands in Nuremberg. 4 red cards, 16 yellows. The Battle of Nuremberg. A modern match with modern cards, but an old truth. Elite football can still lose its mind. And more recently, people have called Argentina against the Netherlands in 2022 the Battle of Lusail because of the sheer number of cards confrontations and post-match bitterness. But Bordeaux comes first. The first great World Cup, Battle of. We have to talk about the referee. Paul von Hetzka is easy to blame. Many accounts say the match was violent because his control was too loose. That's part of the story, but it's not the whole story. Referees in 1938 had fewer tools. No yellow cards, no red cards as visual language, no fourth official, no substitutions, no television accountability, and no VAR, of course. No modern disciplinary panel watching from every angle. And FIFA doesn't seem to have treated Hetzka as uniquely guilty afterward. Hungarian sources even note that after the scandalous match, FIFA's refereeing leadership didn't hold him personally responsible. Instead, he continues to receive assignments. He later remained a respected figure in Hungarian refereeing, and in 2005, the Hungarian Football Federation created the Paul Hetzka Prize for the Referee of the Year. That doesn't absolve him from what happened in Bordeaux, but it complicates the judgment. Maybe Hetzka failed. Maybe the players failed. Maybe the tournament culture failed. Maybe the laws had not yet developed the tools to control what football had become. This is often how the game evolves. It's not changed by abstract wisdom. It is changed by matches that reveal what the old machinery cannot handle. Before we go, 3 things to take away from June 12, 1938. First, the Battle of Bordeaux was not random chaos. It came from a football world under pressure, Europe before war, fascist sport, Central European rivalry, South American grievance, and a World Cup still learning how to govern itself. Second, Brazil against Czechoslovakia was supposed to be beautiful. Leônidas, Domingos, Plánička, Nejedlý, Puig, 2 spectacular teams. That is what makes the violence so striking. The match didn't lack quality. It lost control. And third, Bordeaux is the first great World Cup battle of, before Berne, before Santiago, before Nuremberg, before Lusail. It reminds us that football's mythology is not made only of goals. Sometimes it is made of bruises, broken bones, and the matches that force the game to grow up. On this day in 1938, Brazil and Czechoslovakia drew 1-1 after extra time in Bordeaux in a World Cup quarterfinal so violent that 3 players were sent off, several were seriously injured. Plánička played on with a broken arm, and the world remembered it as the Battle of Bordeaux. That is all for episode 224 of OTD, your daily dose of soccer history by 17 Law Sky. Please rate the show 5 stars. It really helps push OTD up the charts and in front of new people. And of course, if you have an idea, email me at otd@17lawsky.com. Tomorrow, we go to June 13, 1956, the first European Cup final, Real Madrid against Stade de Reims, and the beginning of a dynasty that will define European football. See you then.